It's episode number 80 of Speaking Volumes podcast. Hi, Cher.
Hi, Scary. Hey, Portia,
Hey.
can you take a minute and wave hello?
She's busy. She's taking meetings.
Oh, she is very busy today.
So busy. So much going on in her life.
I'm sorry. You're on that iPad right now? Okay. And then where's your other iPads? Okay. The scary iPad's there. Okay.
That's the Christmas. I'm sorry. That's her birthday present.
Yeah. Uncle Scary iPad goes everywhere with us, along with other iPad.
Has she been learning more and more from the iPad that I got her?
Really?
It's preloaded. It's for the kids. It's not even an iPad. It's made by Amazon.
It's an Amazon. It's like a Kindle on crack.
Yeah.
That's what I call it.
But it's got all kinds of fun things on it.
Tons of fun things. And actually, and we should get them to endorse us because I really would love to say amazing things about them, but I'll give them one plug. So Portia's way too young really to be doing too many mathematical problems, I guess you'd say, and they had a really fun game on there that allows her to count on cards. And I loved it because she likes it. So now I'm like pushing the issue and I'm like, okay, minuses and pluses, let's do this more. So, it was something that, yes, could she have done some of it, before this iPad? Sure. But it wasn't as much fun. They found a nice little fun way to do it. So mad props to that.
That's great. Now, if only they'll sponsor our podcast.
I know. That would be nice.
Why were you making a motion with your mouth? Like, oh my God, my mouth. What's going on? Like you were waving at your mouth. What's happening? I don't even
know if I can get through this podcast.
Why? What's happening?
Okay. So my allergies are going ballistic. Okay. I don't know how you've been feeling, but just everything. It's like here. And I'm like sneezing.
Yeah.
All of a sudden I remembered what one of my au pairs taught me a while ago, which was she was from I don't know, I think her background was Haiti. And she told me these great things to do when you got sick. And one of them for your nose being stuffy was eating raw garlic. And so I went to the fridge right before our podcast and I literally got pieces of garlic, peeled it open, cut slices, and sat there eating it like it was a freaking carrot.
Oh my God.
I'm dying. I don't think I knew what I was doing. I think I ate way too many. My mouth and my throat are burning right now.
Well, I think the person who's really going to be suffering is your husband.
Yeah, and then said Portia. Wait, right before we came on, I said, Portia, don't be funny. I said, Portia, does mommy stink? And she goes, no, mommy. I went, oh,
yeah,
I love
wait till Scott tries to kiss you. Then we'll see.
What's so funny? I'm dying, but it's almost like the smells up my nose so much. I can't tell if my mouth smells because my nose is so stinky.
Wow. All this for a remedy because of your allergies. It is allergy season. I'm feeling it right here in my sinuses. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sneezing. It's crazy. And everyone is sneezing around me and people are still screaming COVID.
Right. Which freaks me out.
Well, they're half joking at this point.
I know.
It is the season for allergies. I'm feeling it.
It totally is. And speaking of COVID, by the way, okay, I have to say every now and then I still do look at the CDC website because I'd like to see what's going on. But it is extremely, I don't know if anybody else
what is it saying these days? Because I haven't watched it or seen it since 2020.
I want you to really since 2020. Oh, well, it still says stuff. But the thing is that it's so not informative to the areas anymore. So how you used to know how it is in Jersey, how it is in Westchester, how it is.
They've given up on that.
No, and that's really what I was curious about. I was kind of oh, I wonder how the numbers are in my local area, or if I'm traveling somewhere, when I went to Texas, I'm I wonder what the numbers are,
Right.
It's not informative to that level. The thing that's interesting is it gives you a whole different perspective on some of the vaccines that are available now, what people should get, things like that. That's what they're still up to date on is the boosters and all that stuff. Because I think they assume people got the vaccines already. So it's the booster section.
My God.
But, as far as what I was looking for I was curious if numbers were still being looked at and I couldn't find them. So if anybody knows where people are actually getting numbers from anymore on this, I'd love to hear.
I don't think it's a thing anymore.
Which is sad.
No, it's happy. That means we've
No,
gotten
what I
past
mean
it.
is saying, right. But I'm
What the
saying
hell do you even
that
care
it
to
was
look
like,
anymore?
listen, it was such a part of our lives, right? We all know it's just going to be a
I'm
constant.
sorry.
It's
There's
gonna
one
be
thing I'm not
there.
getting nostalgic about is COVID.
No.
Remember back in the days? Oh, I fondly remember.
No, but I feel bad because you know what? There were so many lives that were lost during that time. And like the way I look at it is it was something that we all experienced, right? And then we
Yeah.
experienced things like the flu, which takes lives too. And, you know, we have to live through all these things. This is what it's about, is trying to go through this. It's a cycle, right? And I just like to have information sometimes. And I thought I was going to get more information on, hey, what's going on? But I couldn't really find it. I'll tell you something though.
Yeah.
So anyway, so by the way, the garlic thing is not the only thing I was taught by my nannies and my favorite,
Your au pairs.
my au pairs, as I
That
call
sounds so bougie, by the way. I
them.
thought I
So
was a bougie bastard.
I'm so sorry, but that's really what they were.
Au pair.
I know it's so bougie, but because they weren't nannies, my mom was home. They were au pairs. But
Fair
here's
enough.
the thing. I think that some of the things that I was taught though are so cool because it was really like generations of them taking it from their families and their like land, like where they were from and like their countries and now like combining into American tradition. And I loved it. I thought it was so
Yeah.
neat.
I never had an au pair, a nanny, or a babysitter for that matter.
You didn't
I
have a
mean,
babysitter?
when my parents wanted to go out, they just sent us to our grandparents' house, and my grandparents would watch us.
Aw, that's cute too, though. By the way, my grandparents would watch us, and so would my mom, but there was always somebody there.
Sure. Personal chef, butler, maid.
Okay, end of this conversation.
Was that what was going on around the Cosenza household?
Listen, I don't know if you want me behind the stove all the time.
So, I heard you're a good cook, by the way.
I am. I like to cook. Thanks, Gary. Thank you, because I try.
That's what I heard. I went to see Shucked the musical.
You did?
Now, this is a play about corn. And on the surface, yeah, that is the theme. Corn in a small rural town and small rural town life. And what happens when the corn crop dies? That's now
really what it's about?
If I told you, well, yeah, that is the premise. I'm not giving anything away. It's on Broadway.
But how deep do they get into this? Is it like very emotional? Like, do they get really hardcore?
Well, if I told you that you're going to see a play about corn, what would you say? Would you be interested? Would you?
I'd say I might pick Peppa Pig.
You wouldn't go.
No, I wouldn't go.
Here's the thing. You go into Shucked the musical with low expectations, and you come out, right? It's laughing your ass off.
I knew it.
It is one of the most sharp as a tack written plays I've seen in a long time. I love it. And the jokes are nonstop. It's a laugh every 30 seconds.
I love
every other line. There's like plays on words. There's, I don't know if you know the humor of like a Monty Python or like a breaking the fourth wall type humor.
I was actually going to ask you if that was kind of what it was like.
It's very much that. There's a lot of wordplay, a lot of puns.
I like that.
A lot of dad jokes. It's just hysterical.
It's adult, nothing else, though, right? It's adult.
Yeah. I mean, it's a musical, but it's not for kids. There's nothing there for kids. They're not going to get the jokes. No. If you're into clever writing, you got to see it. It's in previews right now.
I love that.
I had a chance to see it last week. So.
I'm really excited you had a chance to go see that because I have to say, you know, it makes me happy that people are stepping outside the box when it comes to art and really creating these things that you really do look at from a distance and you're like, well, what is this? And then they just wow you. I think that's one of the most wonderful things about acting. I think sometimes the things that are written to perform, you just can't understand it just on paper. It's just, it speaks to you when they get up there and perform it.
For sure. So
it's pretty cool.
Oh, well, listen, it's all good.
I'm glad you went.
Thank you.
That's very cool. So on a serious note, so that's what's new with you, huh?
Yeah. What's new with
I'd like to share what's new with me.
Oh.
So.
Well, wait a second. You're about to go into a serious note.
I am, but first I'm going to show this and say I officially got my trademark. See this? Oh yeah. Officially,
Wow.
Cher Knows is officially trademarked and is officially my brand. And I'm very proud of this. So this is
Congratulations.
now official. Yeah, it was a really long process. And I'm sure anybody that tries to go through a trademark process knows it's not easy. But it is an amazing process. And it was something it was close to my heart. One of the things that I wanted to share today about this was that, Cher Knows was created kind of as a talking head for entertainment, coming from a celebrity platform where I was able to give people advice and understanding on things that had to do with security and private investigation, which is a really unique topic for an actor to be able to speak about and be licensed to be able to speak to you about, right?
Yeah.
So I love the fact that I could, I think it's great in this industry to be able to use your platform for something good to help people and to maybe guide them on something they don't have guidance on. And one of the things I have to say is it's really hard for me when this is a world that I still love. And I still do have my company. It's called Alternative Investigations. We don't talk about it much, Scary, but I have a great team of people that
Yep.
work with me. They are the people that I rely on when I'm shooting. But I make sure I know every single thing that goes on through my company. And I'm very large into the consulting side of it because that's a little different than me being out in the field and being hands-on, because I can't do a lot of that, obviously. So this is something where I become kind of a talking head for my own company. And one of the things that makes me crazy is what happened in Nashville. And I'm so
Yeah.
sorry to bring this to that, but I have to tell you, I can't take it anymore. I mean, this shooting is it's too much. And being a mom, my heart goes out to all those people. And I don't even know what to say, but I will share with you that I hope everybody comes together and I hope that everybody embraces these people and we as a society come together and try to figure out how to deter this stuff from happening. And the only thing I could say is I'm doing my part. I will share with you, if you're somebody that owns a company or you're in a business or you're just an individual and you have a group of people together, we are getting calls nonstop for de-escalation and active shooter trainings. And I can't tell you how much I value every time somebody calls my company and asks us to put together a plan for them, a program for them, come in and do hands-on trainings. We do hands-on trainings for this. So whether you
Yeah.
are a huge corporation like a bank, you're an iHeart, or you're an individual restaurant or a club, give us a call if you're concerned, because I got to tell you, it's alarming to me that anybody ever needs that kind of service. But I think it's just life. I think it's just the life we're living in right now.
Yeah. And the conversation has changed.
It makes me so
It's
sad.
now,
Yeah, I'm sorry. I know
there's a
our
need
podcast is so real,
I
though. We have to be real.
There's a need for mental health and wellness education and
Yeah.
outreach
I mean, it's
more than
crazy.
ever. I mean,
whatever it is, but
I avoid, when serious heavy headlines like this come, I turn the other way and I bury my head in my covers and go to sleep and shut the lights and close the door and just hope it all passes, because I can't stand, looking at video.
no.
And I know they released body cam footage. It's out there, and it's just I don't handle it very well. And
No, and Scary,
you
you
know,
have to imagine, though, being somebody who, we don't talk about it a lot, but I
I
own
don't
a
want to be an
company.
ostrich with my head in the sand. That's not where I'm
No,
going
no,
with
that's not
this.
what you mean. But here's where I look at it. I'm disgusted because it's like something where, I honestly care enough that I'm trying to educate as many people as I can on this. And no, that education won't stop the bad people from surfacing, but maybe I could help save one or two lives at
Yes.
least.
Well, your company is doing a service. It's kind of, it is a company that, that does earn profits. It's a company, it's a business, but at the same time, it's a public service. And now it's safety, and it's
Just,
basic. Just the fact that you're getting these calls and these requests, makes me happy that people are looking into this and people are looking to be proactive
well,
before
just think of it this way,
tragedies
Scary.
happen.
as you go out, you know, you would hope that at least the place that you're going to, the venue, you know, the building that you step into takes the steps at least to see if there's anything they could do, even that one little step extra of protection for you, you know, because that's just what we're living with. But anyway, my heart goes out to the people in Nashville. I'm sorry. I had to bring it up though, as somebody who's embraced this as a you know, a business that I own and something that I pride myself on, at least trying to help people. I had to put it out there. So if there's any reason for somebody wanting to get in touch with me, please reach out. I'm happy to talk to you and see what we could do for you.
Wow. That's a hard act to follow. I'm not going to lie.
So on that note,
and it also makes what I'm about to talk about really trite and unimportant, because
that's
it's like,
okay.
we
I
really
think we need some humor. I think that's what the world has taught us, right? We have to get past this together.
I have my bell. I have my little bell.
Oh, okay.
This is my mind's eye is opening up. What is on Scary's mind right now?
What's on your mind, Scary?
I'll tell you. Again, hard act to follow after coming off of that, but this is going to sound stupid. But you know when you're parking your car, this is so basic. I am so basic. You know when you're parking your car perpendicular, when it's like they're regular parking lot spaces. We're not talking about the parallel parking, which is done in a lot of cities when you have to park against the sidewalk in front or in back of the car. That's parallel parking. I'm talking about row parking where you pull. So
you're talking the car's already next to the curb and you park next to that car.
No, I'm talking about regular classic parking lot parking where you just pull into spaces, pull in and out, and they're all in a line. Yes, perpendicular park.
Okay, like in a mall parking lot.
Yeah, regular parking lot.
Okay.
I wanted to differentiate. I cannot stand.
Oh no.
I cannot stand people who back into parking spaces.
Really?
Well,
tell me why.
Okay. If it doesn't affect me, I don't give a shit. Like in a mall parking lot. However, I live in a building that has assigned parking spaces. So it's the same car to my left and the same car to my right every day.
Okay.
The guy on my left backs into the spot. So that means
talking about this. Does he listen to our podcast?
I hope not.
He's gonna scratch your. He's gonna get your car.
Because now it's like basically when I'm in my car, if I pull in and he's pulling out, we're driver's side to driver's side. When you do that, when you back into a spot like that, it lines your side view mirror up with my door. You understand that? Because
it does. You're right. It does line
because the car is facing the other way. It doesn't do anyone any good. There's no reason for it. I hate it. I can't stand it. The guy to my left backs in and yeah.
Okay, wait. Let's step back for a second. Did you ever think about the person that backs into the spot? Like what's going through their head at that moment? Like what makes a person back into one of those spots? Is it that they don't think they could take the 5 seconds out to back up when they leave? Like, is it easier to just pull out for them?
It's twofold for them. For them, it's probably much faster for them to just put the car and drive and go. And secondly, they don't get into an accident backing out of a spot with cars coming around the bend. And for those two reasons, they're the only two reasons I could see why anyone would back into a spot.
I think it shows an attitude. I think it shows somebody that's got an attitude. I always thought that when I saw somebody that backed into a spot, I felt like it was kind of like, look at me, hear me roar type thing. Like, did you ever see that? Like without saying anything, people that like talk without saying anything when you're in a parking lot? The aggressiveness behind the wheel.
Well, it's pissing me off because this person their side view mirror is like right up against my junk after I'm trying to get out of my car. It's for whatever reason, he parks close to the line and it just doesn't work for me. I hate it. And I just,
so what are we going to do about it?
It's a pet peeve.
Do you want to figure out what you could do about it? I got an idea.
I don't think I can do anything about it because there's no rules. I was looking for signs that say no back-in parking, but that doesn't exist in this parking lot. I'm just bothered. It just bothers me. It just
Okay, so
bothers
wait
me
a
to
second
no
though.
end.
Your problem is
And
more.
by the way, this is a permanent resident. So
I was just going to say that this
no,
is a
this isn't
problem because-
arbitrary. This isn't like, oh, today the guy next to me did that,
right. Yeah.
like in a
I hear
mall,
ya.
like Target.
No.
No.
Mm.
This is a permanent residential paid for parking space. And this
So what
person
ya?
is a monthly renter, and he's there every single day backing into that spot.
Okay, so here's something. I did think at first when you were going to complain about this, that you were talking about going to like a Target parking lot. And I was like, okay, just go to a different spot. I was going to give you that as a possibility. Your situation's for real because you can't go to another spot. You have to park there. So here's a question. So if he backs in, right? He backs in and is it your driver's side door that opens up to him?
My driver's side opens to his driver's side.
So what if you parked really close, like annoyingly close?
That'll dent my car. My car is worth twice the amount of his. No good.
Okay.
Not going to work.
What
Next.
about, okay, I'm trying. Hold on. What else could you do? This is very interesting. I want you to annoy him.
First of all, do I have a case?
Like that.
Is it, am I just crazy and I should just suck it up, buttercup kind of thing? Because
you shouldn't really care. I mean, I do happen to think you're being extremely, petty about it, but it's okay. Okay. Here's the thing.
You asked me what's on my mind, and I'm telling you.
Okay, well, you're quirky like that, and I get it. And I get that it's annoying to you, but here's the thing. You got to suck it up. It's not doing anything to your car. Like, the only thing I'd say is that why does it bother you so much anyway that he pulls in that way? Like, in a sense, if it means anything to you, if I don't like that, normally, you're right. I would pull somewhere else. In your situation, you're screwed. You have
I want to get into this guy's mind. I want to know why he does what he's doing.
Because I think, do you know him? Do you know him?
No, I don't know who this person is.
I have a feeling this guy is really, what's the right word to say? I think it's an attitude thing when people back in. I'm telling you, he's probably an ass. Oh.
Probably, yes. Yeah.
I have a feeling he's a complete idiot. Like, I think if you saw him, he wouldn't even say hi to you, yet he knows that you're a neighbor and that you guys park next to each other. He'd be the type of guy that would go and get into his car and make you stand there and wait. Like, he'd push his way forward and like open his door. Like, I don't think he's going to be somebody for you to screw with. I don't think you like that type of drama.
You know, as they say when they run out of time on the news shows, we have to leave it right there because we have to investigate something, Cher. and we only have like 7 minutes to do it. So I don't know how you're going to go through a full investigation. This whole thing's going to
I got something important to talk about.
Well, Cher investigates. Speaking Volumes investigates. Yes, Cher knows on the case.
Where's my music?
I just hit it.
Do it again. What?
That's your investigation music.
I can't hear it. You know that, right?
You can't hear it?
No, do it again.
Well, trust me, it's being picked up by the recording.
Okay, fine. I can't wait to hear what this sounds like. Okay, Cher Knows investigates. Are you ready for scammers, Mr. Wrong or Mr. Right? Well, yes. I have some information for you that's going to blow your mind. Every few months, we try to do a dating site podcast, right? So we can tell people the single life, how things are getting treated, how these sites are doing. So I'll tell you what happened on the news a few weeks ago. It caught my eye and my ear as I heard this woman in Long Island was scammed $475,000. Scary. Oh. You hear this number? $475,000. Like, she used her husband's life savings for her and him. He passes away, and somehow, after 20,000, 30,000, 50,000.
I think I'm going to be sick. How did this happen?
Well, the way they explain it is that, listen, and the news, I don't know how much, I wanted to get in touch with the lady. I'm still going to figure out if I could talk to her because I'd like to know more about what gets in their heads to do this. But I don't want to ridicule her because it's not about anything that she did wrong. This person's wrong. She is a victim. Okay. So let's not put the blame on her. Let's just understand how not to have more people fall victim to this. But here's the thing. You got to understand something. She figures out the guy is a scam. She gets the PD involved, right? At that point, the idea is block the guy. Don't talk to him anymore. Let's figure out if we can bait him. Okay. So here's what I say to people. If you think that you're on a dating site and there's a problem happening, there probably is. If anything gives you that one feeling, stop. Just stop. First of all, you should never, ever be sending money. Not even $5. Never mind thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
I want you to know I found a statistic. Okay. Not only the Tinder swindler was a problem. Okay. But this, by the way, this dating site was Zooks. I just want everybody to know that.
Zooks,
Okay? So
where you meet the
Zooks.
crooks.
Well, yeah, Zooks and the crooks. But I want you to know statistics. You ready?
Yep.
To date, $547 million has been lost to romance scams. Can you understand? It's up 80% from 2021.
I believe it.
80%.
I believe it.
I can't even tell you
it's a problem. It's a growing problem. That's why you need to nip it in the bud, and you need to.
Mind-boggling. So here's a couple of things I want you to know. A scam to recognize. I actually know somebody close to me that had something similar happen. So I'm going to give you some real facts here, okay? They try to get you off the app. Let me tell you something. That is a sign right there. When they go ahead and they say to you something like, hey, listen, I have a friend. I just got in a relationship, but I have a really good friend. Yeah. I'm going to give you his email address. You should email him. You guys would be perfect together.
Let's take this off the app. Let's put this on WhatsApp or some other
Well, here's another
communication.
One. Right, because then they can't track everything that's going on. Not that these companies have been so helpful, okay?
Right, okay.
But let's just say this much. At least you're on something that has a thread, has something to like touch, right? It's tangible. But let me tell you another one that they do. They say, and this is a big one. Hi, I'm so happy we met. You know, you're exactly what I've been looking for. But because I've been on this site so long, I'm getting off it. So why don't we exchange phone numbers, where we live, and our real email addresses? The second you have somebody that's starting to get you off the site, it's a red flag. Don't fall for, I don't care what they tell you, that they hate the site, their identity was stolen, they have to get off, blah, blah, blah.
They'll use any excuse.
Tell them, unless you talk to them on this site, you're not interested in pursuing anything. It will at least give you that protection, because if that person says, then forget it, you know it's a scam. There's no reason for them to not be able to talk to you on that site.
Okay, so this is all sound advice.
Yeah, here's another thing. Look at spelling and grammar mistakes.
Oh, that's easy.
A lot of people do not realize. Apparently, there was some of that the police picked up on right away, okay? You don't have to get too scared by this the first conversation, but after that first conversation and second, somebody is refusing to meet you constantly. That is a huge issue. I know that people think that's obvious.
That's catfish 101. Yeah.
But scary. This woman sent this guy money. He kept saying, I can't get there yet. I can't get there yet. I'm going to tell you something else too, which I think is really strange. If you say you're from New York, right, on these dating sites, and then you put down currently living in like Alabama, and you're trying to reach out to somebody that's 5 miles from where you used to live, that doesn't make sense to me. Like, you're not living there now. I don't care that you want to talk about things and kumbaya about the area and talk about that. But if you're living in Alabama and I'm looking for somebody to date every day, what is that going to help me?
Yeah.
So that's another red flag. They keep changing where they live. So they start out saying that they live in the area, right? And then they change underneath the little thing. Instead of saying lives at currently, it'll change and it'll say currently living Alabama. But people don't always catch on to that because it says living and it says like New York. Mm-hmm. So that's another thing. You got to really, you got to PI some of these sites, guys. You can't be silly about it. So you want to date local. That's another thing. Okay. The bait and switch idea, the whole idea again about somebody telling you one thing and then switching it on to another. You have to catch on to what they're saying. Watch what you write with the person. Watch what they say their desires are, why they left an area, what job they have. You will notice that they actually mess up and they actually put things in that counteract what they told you back at the beginning. You will see a pattern. It will show you. But for $547 million of people's money to be taken from romance scams, this is insane to me.
Yeah.
I mean,
all right. This is sad. It's sad. It's sad.
That's crazy. All right. So here's the deal. Share knows. When you go ahead and you find that this might be a scam, don't just call the police and keep talking to the person and blah, blah, blah. Here's an idea. Don't block them yet. Don't let them know you're catching on. Do everything and start investigating it without telling them, because the second that you go and you block them and you make it obvious that you caught on to them, you're not going to find these people. I find that to be one of the biggest problems as a PI. Let the people dangle. Let them think that you don't know what's happening, okay? Let them think you're still falling for it.
Right.
Don't cut things off. It's the worst thing you could possibly do. If you can FaceTime, Zoom, look at them, okay? Don't use your real name on some of these sites. I will tell you, that might seem a little strange to you because everything's supposed to be so transparent. Try to use a different name. Don't use your exact location. Use a couple of miles away. It's not going to hurt anything. You don't want these people trying to do reverse Googles on you and finding out exactly where you are. That's the last thing you want. You don't want them figuring out all this information on you till there's a reason to. Okay. So it sucks, but don't be too overly open on these sites.
Yeah. All right. That's great. That's some sound advice from Cher Knows this week. I appreciate that. That's great. Thank you. You're like, yeah, take your victory sip. Where's your drink?
You're so cute.
Portia. All right. Well, listen, if you want to comment on anything that we spoke about today here on Speaking Volumes Podcast, feel free to email us, speakingvolumespodcasting@gmail.com. Get in touch with Cher at Cher Cosenza on Instagram, at Cher Knows Facebook fan page there, and let us know. And if there's a topic that you want to cover, also let us know. Yeah, if there's something that you want to be that needs to be talked about
or investigated.
All right, say goodbye, Portia.
Goodbye.
From friendships to relationships.